Hello, in this video I will be talking about unhandled faults. What are they and how can they be prevented? This is a screen showing an unhandled fault. All right, so you might have seen this before. It may have been larger. It can come in different sizes, but it doesn't tell you anything about what happened. So you get no details. So if you're a user and you get an unhandled fault, you have no idea what happened. You don't know if you did something wrong or what. So the only thing you can really do is try to get in contact with your system administrator who created the flow. Because what this means is a user tried to run a screen flow and flow could not perform a specific action. And that might be, there's a couple different reasons for that. That might be because there was a change to the org. But definitely what it does mean is fault paths were not configured. So if you're an administrator, there is a way to prevent this, and that is by configuring fault paths. And that's a great thing to do to prevent your users from having a bad user experience. So let's talk about a few ways you could troubleshoot faults. If you created the flow and it had a fault, you should receive an email giving you information about that fault. So that's one way. Another way is by looking at your flow failed interviews report and also your failed interviews and setup. So in a dashboard, I usually keep a report showing the number of faults that have recently occurred. That way I can go and check, find them right away, troubleshoot any issues. All right, that is a standard report, but you could also create a custom object and create records from your fault paths for any type of flow, and then create a report and show a total that way. Okay, but you can also go to your flow failed interviews, such as you see here. Click on the flow that has had a fault. That will take you right to the flow, and you will see the element that had a fault. So what happened here is the flow couldn't perform this action. Now in this specific case, it's talking about an assignee ID. So if I look in here, it doesn't look like anything's wrong. So either it didn't have the right ID or something else was happening. In this case, the user already has the permission set. So that's why the fault happened in this flow. All right, so you could do some different things. You could do a decision to check for things to try and prevent faults. But more importantly, you can configure fault paths by adding a fault path to your data elements and your action elements. And then you can give your users more information by providing a screen, ways to go forward and back around the area having an issue. You could send emails, you can call subflows, you can create a record of the fault, use all the same elements that you can use in the flow, you can also use in the fault path. So that's a good idea for you to do to prevent your users from having a bad user experience while they're running screen flows. And I talk more about how to configure fault paths in some other videos. So I'll link to those at the end of this video. But in the meantime, let me know what you're doing to prevent faults in your orgs. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully this was helpful, and thank you for watching.